Welcome back. We're talking about memory. We're talking about the associations. We talked a little bit about short-term memory, a little bit about long-term memory. I want to talk a little bit about psychology here. I want to talk about we talk about episodic memory of actual specific memories that we draw from, and then we have semantic memories that are just simply learned information. So I want to talk about a real big issue here. When we talk about anxiety, we talk about depression, we talk about OCD, we talk about any kind of psychological feeling that happens because of retrieval cues. One of the biggest types of prevention and counseling of things that cause negative feelings or negative behaviors or anxieties is to turn these memories, okay, instead of retrieving the new memories from episodic memories, turn them to semantic memories. So, for example, I might wear a particular T-shirt, and this particular T-shirt I might have worn. Let's just say I have a T-shirt to a music group, okay, and I go and I see the music group. And I watch the concert, and then when I wear that T-shirt, I'm like, oh, that's great, I remember that's really good. So when I put that T-shirt on, I remember that shirt through episodic memory because I was there. That's why a lot of T-shirts, that's why, the old saying, I've been there and I grabbed the T-shirt, is because that T-shirt is there to remind you of whatever it is. If I sign up for a 5K run and it's to support, cancer research, okay, then I've got this 5K T-shirt that reminds me of why I ran the 5K, but it also reminds me to keep thinking about cancer research. So T-shirts are a real big episodic situation, because when I put that T-shirt on, then I begin to think of where I was when I wore the T-shirt. T-shirts are big too for teams. I put it on, I show that I support the team, but I also remember things that happened when I was at the games or whatever. Okay. Well, that's not a bad deal, and that can be a very positive thing. But what if you put on a shirt and then you store up episodic memories of a particular shirt or a particular anything, fill in the blank, okay? So I put on, let's take this shirt, okay? So dress shirt, kind of plaid checkers. It's got kind of pastels. It's kind of got some mauve, got some green, got some white going on in there, some blue. So I put this shirt on, and then let's say I go out and something bad happens to me during the day, and I remember wearing this shirt, and I literally have a flashbulb memory, which is like an episodic memory, and I see this shirt in that situation, okay? I go out, let's just make a simple one here. I go out and I get a speeding ticket. Well, I hope I don't jinx this. If I get a speeding ticket, I'm going to really be disappointed I use this example. But let's say I go out and get a speeding ticket, it really upsets me, I'm really like, oh my gosh, can't believe that happened, and it just ruins my whole day, and it just makes me really anxious and having a little anxiety about policemen and about tickets and about speeding. And so I'm driving along, and all of a sudden I see a police officer, and I have this episodic memory, flashbulb memory. Sometimes you might think of like as a flashback, and then all of a sudden I think of this shirt. Well, if I make a few connections with this shirt, then pretty soon this shirt has memories that are episodic. So I go to my closet and I'm like, oh gosh, I put this shirt on, and I'm like, oh, I'm taking this shirt off because this shirt to me is associated with getting a ticket. See the problem? Okay. Well, sometimes people make that good episodic memories. Oh, that's my lucky shirt. I coached for years, so sometimes I would have like even I might have a lucky shirt or something. I'm like, oh, I remember winning in this shirt. I'm going to put this shirt on and feel lucky. That's episodic. But the problem is that episodic memories that are tied into things like shirts, tied into things like whatever, even mannerisms. I mean, almost even superstitions, okay, become episodic. So, like for example, I mean, a black cat crosses your path. You're like, oh my gosh, So when you see a black cat, you think bad. So you either drive around the block to avoid the cat or whatever it takes. So what we do though for counseling with this, if it's causing anxiety and it's causing us to really not really, if the shirt or the activity or whatever it is causing these episodic memories, then we got to change them to what? Semantic memories. So I convince myself, oh, this is just an old shirt, you know what I mean? It's got some colors. It has nothing tied in to do with anything else, just a semantic memory. I don't memorize the shirt by the activities that I was in. I just simply look at it and say, okay, that's a good shirt because it's clean. Okay, now that sounds like a good guy's reason to wear a shirt. Well, actually, a guy's reason to wear a shirt would be it's there. I mean, it might not even be clean. So we're looking at this deal. So we have to turn things into semantic memories. And sometimes people are more sentimental than others, and they remember all these things. And that's not a bad thing. You just have to remember that in terms of memory, you've got to associate if something makes you, glad, sad, mad, happy, whatever it is. If it's a good memory, hang on to it. If it's a bad memory, then you need to change it to semantic. That T-shirt, I wore it, and yeah, I threw up that day, but I washed it, and it's just a regular T-shirt. Okay, so we got to turn things to semantical memories. Now, what does it take to do that? You have to keep going and telling yourself over and over and over the memory of what it is. It's kind of a memory habit thing. Oh, this shirt has nothing to do with getting a ticket. This shirt is just a regular shirt. I could have been wearing any other shirt in my closet the day I got a ticket or whatever. Okay. So once again, I want to talk about that because in terms of psychology, and it's not every one of us will have situations, good and bad things that happen to us. And episodic memories, we have to change them to semantic memories whenever the episodic memory tends to be something that causes us to be anxious, have anxiety, causes us to be sad, depressed, unhappy. Then we've got to change that episodic memory to a somatic memory, which is just simply the memory of which it had. That's where we justify and we'll go, yeah, well, I could have been wearing any shirt in my closet when I got that ticket. Now, we're going to move on a little bit, and we're going to talk about the process of memory. Now, memory is storing, but memory recall is pulling the storing out and using it, okay? So there's a lot of different parts of our brain, okay? We've talked about a bunch of different parts of the brain. We have the frontal lobe where all this working memory is coming in. We have all this short-term memory. We have all we have the right-hand side of the brain, the left-hand side of the brain. We have we have the logical side. We have the creative side. The right-hand side is the creative. Left-hand side is logical. We have the different parts of the brain that we have the baroque that actually does the speech, stores all the information for speech. But then we have an incredible amount of information in our hippocampus and our long-term memory. And so we go and we pull things out and we try to decide how we're going to use them. So we have what we call categorical memories. Now, categorical memories are when we begin to put something in a category. Like, for example, if we say, I'm going to go with shirts just because that's the example we had a while ago. So if I start talking about shirts, I've got, think of all the pictures and all the things that have happened with shirts or clothes or whatever in my lifetime. So all of that's kind of in one file under clothes, categories. So I've got all of those. And then I've sorted them out into good and bad and comfortable and uncomfortable and dressy and not dressy and acceptable and unacceptable and I've got all these different things. So when I go to a category, I literally go to that category and literally separate that category off into all the memories in terms of that category. So if I talk about, okay, for example, we're in psychology class. I don't know how many different psychology classes you've had. It may be your first one. It may be your second one. But in categorical memories, you stop and you start thinking, okay, psychology classes. You think, oh, I took Psychology 101, and you're like, oh, I remember Erickson, I remember Piaget, oh yeah, and I remember this, and I remember that. Those are categorical memories. So when we get into categorical memories, we just start putting everything in one category, okay? And that's really an important type of memory because we have so much stored in it. Categories are an area we have a lot of memories. We even sometimes put childhood memories in categorical memories. Categorical memories are like a big old file cabinet of everything we've got in there. I can categorize our brain, a specific part of our brain can put things in categories. I can say happy times, and you're thinking, oh, when was I happy? And all of a sudden the brain will categorize all these, and you'll just start thinking all these things, okay? All right. You know, what makes you, and I don't want to get your brain going, you know, what makes you really mad, and all of a sudden your brain will start categorizing all we'll call it the sensory mad, and start categorizing all those. If I say animals, and your brain will categorize and start thinking of all the different animals that you can think of, and with those animals comes memory. Now remember, some of the memories are episodic, and some of them are semantic. So if I say animals, you're like, elephant. Well, have you seen an elephant, or have you seen one in a movie, or have you read about them in a book, or have you just memorized that? Because there's not much of an emotion there. If you've actually seen an elephant, then you actually can see that episodic deal. What if I say an anteater? You know, we've all heard of an anteater, and when we think of an anteater, it's got a long nose. I've never seen an anteater, okay? Maybe you have, okay? But once again, I'm pulling from those categorical memories. Now I change into categorical memories. Now I mention something that's more episodic, like a dog. Well, hopefully you see some happy dog that's wagging his tail, not some dog that's biting you. There was a lady that came to our house recently, and I've got this little dog. Griff is a little Maltese dog, about this big, and the lady says, "Do you have a dog?" And we're like, "Yeah, we got a dog," because we're thinking this is a happy dog. And she goes, "Will that dog bite me?" And we're like, "No." And she goes, "Will that dog bark at me?" I'm like, "Yeah, it'll probably bark." And she goes, "Oh, I don't want to come to your house," because the thought of dog right away for her was a bad situation. So would you say that was probably, when she was thinking of that, would you think that's probably an episodic memory or a somatic memory? Well, it's probably episodic memory, because something in there told her dogs were a bad thing. She might have read that, or she might have seen it in a movie. So once again, we have categorical memories. We talked about all the different categories that come in, and then we're fixing to start in the next one. We're going to talk about a memory process that uses all the different parts of the brain. So I'll see you for the next video.